Hey guys, what's up? I'm Brian Logandales from the Somerset. I'm here with Rob on Front Row Live.
I'm reunited with Brian Dales of the Somerset after 4 years, man.
It's been a long time. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, 4 years, new channel, and new music from what I hear, right?
Yeah, new channel, new music. I live here. It's a whole new life, basically. I'm a whole different person. I changed my name, too. No, I'm kidding.
That's insane. That's the Hollywood life.
Yeah.
So we started this tour yesterday, and you kept posting that there was a new song on this tour. Can you talk a little bit about the new song?
The new song is actually, so we've been off the road for the most part since the end of last summer. We spent the last 9 months writing and demoing. We've written a lot of songs. We've written batches of songs. We've scrapped batches of songs. Just trying to make the best record we can, and I'm really proud of the way some of the songs are turning out now. But the song we're playing is actually probably the most recent. It's a song that we only wrote last week, but it just kind of felt like the most appropriate first song to play, first song for people to hear. It's a song called "Wasted," and it's not a drinking song.
All right.
It's about growing. I guess kind of about growing up the way we have on the road since I finished high school, and I've been touring pretty much ever since. And now we've been off the road for almost a year, and kind of almost learning how to live life a very different way. And I've I guess transitioning into adulthood and just things have changed, and I think it's a song about that, and I'm really proud of it. And it went over really well last night, even with technical difficulties, which is a good sign. If people can really enjoy a song, even though we secretly played it terribly, then I think it might be a good song. We're playing it again tonight at Troubadour, and I think it's gonna be good.
Now, this song in particular, was it made for this tour, or is it something that we can expect on the new material?
It'll be on the record. It'll definitely be on the record. I wouldn't want to. I guess I never really write a song just to have a song ready for a tour, but I never want to play something and get people hyped on it and then not give it to them.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be very careful and make sure we were playing a song that we knew confidently would last until the record comes out. So so I'm really proud of the song.
Now, as you did mention, I mean, you guys started out as high school kids, and now you're living the real world, moving out to LA, having your own, I don't know, maybe mortgage or whatnot. What was the hardest thing about growing up while being, in the spotlight and being on tour constantly?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, for a long time, it wasn't for me, for a long time, it was backwards, where I was young and I'd go on the road, and a lot of people at the age when we had started touring miss home, miss their families, miss their friends, miss their dog. But in the early years for us, I'd come home from tour and I'd lose my mind. And I would be bored, and I'd be unproductive, and I'd miss being on tour. So I moved to LA a couple of years ago so I could write year-round and write and be more productive and just write different kinds of songs and collaborate with different people and just feel like I was doing more. And for the first time ever, I now go on tour, and I do miss home, because I think I actually built a home life, which was really exciting. I really have loved being here.
That's cool. Now, with the writing that you're saying for other artists, how does an artist really get started that way? I mean, you write for your music, for your band, obviously, but how do you get started pitching stuff to new artists?
It's hard. I would say, from my experience, it takes unless you're a songwriter who's had a big hit song, your name is established as someone who's written a hit song, which we've not quite had the success, that sort of caliber in our career, which I'm very proud of. But I guess as somebody who's getting into that world from a band, trying to write songs for different artists and pitch songs out there to the major artists of the world, I think it's write as many songs, in my experience, it's write as many songs as you can for 2 years, and then one of them might get recorded. And that's, I think, that's finally, I've written 100-something songs in all different kinds of genres in the last 2.5 years, and and with the patience of knowing that, okay, it's going to take 2 years of pitching songs out there for people to pick one, to people to really believe that you have what it takes, which is now is, for me, that 2.5 year point is kind of now, and I feel like it's maybe starting to get kind of exciting, which is cool.
All right, so things are happening right now.
It's in equal parts of writing great songs, and just maintaining great relationships with people.
Okay. And then when you guys were working on Legendary, you guys went into the studio, worked with various producers. Yeah, there was not just one particular that you guys chose to do. What was the reason for doing that? Is it you just wanted to try new things, or?
Yeah, I like making every record pretty differently. With Legendary, we knew we wanted to write with a million people. Like we started the record just us in a house to kind of figure out the kind of record we wanted to make, and it was leaning very synthetic, lots of drum samples, lots of production elements, and then John and I went out to LA just really finally like really inspired, and we were just writing with as many people as we could, like made a lot of really great relationships with a lot of great writers. I am confident enough in myself as a songwriter to happily love writing with other people. I enjoy it more. I can write a song by myself, but I have no pride issues with writing with other people. I think it's fun. There's something so amazing about getting set up to write with somebody that you don't know, almost like a blind date, and not really knowing anything about them. Maybe you get lunch, you get coffee, you kind of hang out, and at the end of the day, if all goes well, you leave with something that didn't exist before you met that person, and that is a song, hopefully a great one. And to me, that's like the closest thing to actual magic I'll probably ever experience, and that's really cool to me. So I love writing with other people.
Now, which producer was the one that, you know, drilled you the most and made you work the hardest throughout any of the records that you've released?
I owe that bit of credit to a man named John Fields, who produced Everything's Fine. John, I feel like we owe so much to, as far as just being a better band, being a better singer, just learning how to riff and ad-lib and harmonize better than I've ever imagined. He's just such a phenomenal musician and producer with a legacy of records, from Jimmy Eat World to Switchfoot to Andrew WK to Pink to Jonas Brothers to so many bands. He was Soul Asylum, everything. He's had this really, really fantastic career. John really made us push for better and different at the same time, mess with different rhythms and chords, and I think Everything's Fine is a record I'm so proud of. Even though it was like, I feel like maybe a little early in our career, we made a record that was very mature, very young, but John made us so much better, and it was such a pleasant surprise this many years later to realize like some of the things that I do in a vocal booth and some of the things I've learned as a musician, I probably learned from John Fields. Okay.
Now on Legendary, you also, I guess we're just talking about Legendary today. So on Legendary, you also worked with Martin Johnson.
Yes.
On a track that unfortunately didn't make it to the record.
It's true.
Can we see that maybe anytime being released, or is
so? It's a really great song. Martin is one of the most talented songwriters I've ever met. Just quick and just so. It's amazing to see someone that good work that fast. Martin is really incredible. We wrote a really great song. I'd love to see it see the light of day. I feel like maybe it's. I guess in the scheme of why I didn't make the record, I feel like maybe it needs to be dressed differently. Maybe it's more of a ballad. And also, like, I listen to it sometimes and I think, like, oh man, this might be even more amazing if a girl was singing this instead of me. Sometimes you have to take your own pride out of it, just as far as the lyric goes. I think it's an amazing song. I do listen to it often, and I wonder, like, and I hope maybe one day, there will be enough time in the schedule to maybe spend a few hours reworking the song. I think it'd be a really amazing ballad. We did a really up-tempo version of a song that I listen to now, and I'm like, I think this would connect better as a ballad, and that's really cool. Haven't had time to mess with it, but it's also cool. It's a song that was written in 2012, and now here we are 3 years later, and I think the song is better. It's like kind of a fine wine song to me.
So is this the song that you played at the To Write Love in Her Arms event?
No, that's a totally different song.
Different fine wine song?
Yeah, it's a different song, and I still maybe don't think that song. I'm still not. We tested that song out on the Heavy and Light show. I'm still not sure if I like. There's something about the song I can't wrap my head around. I think people kind of liked it, but I still don't. It's still something kind of missing. So it might make the record. There's still a little bit of ways to go. Yeah. There are now a lot of. The problem with the other thing that's kind of a problem with some songs that are written so long ago. You always kind of get the mentality that newer is better, and I've written a lot of songs recently that I'm really passionate about right now, John and I, and you kind of start to really focus on those because they're fresh. So it's always really hard to go back on a song that was written a long time ago and treat it like it's new and think this needs to be on this album. So I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that song, but it's a good song.
Now, as far as the new record, I mean, where are you guys at right now? Are you guys working on that? Or are you guys putting it down while you're on tour?
Putting it down while we're on tour. Take a breather. We've been writing a long time. I'd say the writing is maybe almost done, and then we'll try to finish the tour and hopefully get all the production together.
So as you mentioned, every record you do something different. So what did you do differently on this record, at least just for the writing?
I not a ton different. I just feel, especially since Legendary came out, I've been here for the couple of years. Just even while Legendary was out and we were touring, I'd come home from tour, I'd write 5 days a week like it was a job. I feel like I've gotten better as a songwriter. John moved here recently. He's been doing the same. John and I have been writing a lot. John and his brother started producing music themselves. And so what I'd say this time was different, which was an interesting one, is we're not, with Legendary, we were eager to write with anyone and everyone just to kind of go through the ringer and see who we liked and see who we didn't. Now I feel like I found the handful of writers, producers I love collaborating with, and I like to work with them as much as I can. Also trusting myself. There's this weird kind of, I feel like, thing that happened to several months into writing where we're writing songs with a lot of people. I was writing all these songs, and I had all these songs that were like songs I wrote a year ago that I was kind of like, oh, this could be a Somerset song. And there's this kind of weird thing where I had all these songs that felt like, fundamentally they were really great songs. They were written with something I co-wrote with somebody. They were written about a universal topic, albeit whatever it is, that can relate to anybody. That, I guess, by the fundamentals of how a good pop song goes, was a great song that somehow never connected to me because it wasn't quite like, I think with this record it's a matter of wanting to be even more personal, maybe more songs like how Legendary the title track is that are a little, you're not totally sure exactly what it is because it's almost so personal that it's almost an inside joke. But I think I want to listen to like a lot of Counting Crows and a lot of Bruce Springsteen, and I will definitely never sound like either of those things, but I do love even Taylor Swift or like Nate Roos. Like there's something about, and John Mayer, there's something about the way they write lyrics that is, it's so personal. It's not something immediately relative to you, but it's so personal that you can feel the way they feel. Yeah. And I think that's more important than just writing something that resonates with everybody. I think like I've kind of this mentality that the verses have to be for you as the artist, and the chorus belongs to the listener. So that's kind of my mentality. And I think that's also maybe why it's been taking so long. So I feel like a lot of songs that were pretty great songs that would make a pretty great record probably needed to be put away for a little while for maybe some more honest ones, because it's our fourth record and we want to make a record that lasts a long time, and we want to be able to tour off this record and not get tired off of it. So I think it's taking our time is kind of the important thesis here.
Are you happy with the feedback that Legendary got and the tour life that you were able to do with it? Very.
Best album cycle we've ever had. We got to do things I would have never imagined. So, and the songs still hold up. We're playing a lot of them acoustic in this, and last night was incredible.
Yeah. And with that, like you mentioned, you've done a lot of stuff. You've done from, house shows to, you've done Warped Tour to, you've done iHeartRadio Music Festival. You've done a lot of big things. Where do you see Somerset at today as far as the type of audience that they would be getting? Do you still see yourself doing Warped Tour again? A third year?
We've done it. We've done it 3. We did the last 2 years in a row.
Okay.
So it would be our 4th one. I don't see why not. I don't know. For me, there's a lot of other things I would like to do. We were privileged enough that Kevin Lyman put us on main stage last year, and we got to play main stage Warped Tour, which to me is like, that's that's what you want out of Warped Tour, and we got to do that. So to me, I don't love doing the same thing twice so immediately soon. So maybe a little ways down the line. The goal is always to play music for as many people as you can. So I want to win over the people who may not go to Warped Tour or maybe have never seen us before. There's a lot of other people I want to play music for. I want to write songs I want to have songs connect with everybody, from the people who are coming to the show tonight to my mom and my grandmother, and music. I want to make music that, and especially as I'm getting older, like, say, I want to make music that my hypothetical kids could listen to also. Like, I want something that lasts a lot longer. I kind of want to make the staple of that, hopefully. There's a lot of great music out there today, and I'd love to tour with other people too. So we'll see. But then one day, And I love doing a Warped Tour. If it felt right to go back to, yeah, I think that'd be incredible. I don't want to do Warped Tour every other year, but I love doing it when it feels right.
That sounds right. Now, We Like It Quiet tour just kicked off yesterday. So what can the fans expect on this tour?
It's not very quiet. It was a big, loud, awesome sing-along last night. We're playing some new songs. We're playing some covers. We're playing stuff that we haven't played in really. I'm playing piano on stage. It's a fun show. Okay. It's a fun show. This is only the second night. I think it's kind of still early to figure out.
Yeah. Now, for 2015, what else is in store for the summer set?
Right now, it's just finishing that record. There's nothing else on the agenda. Finishing the album and getting that out so people can hear it. Yeah. Not really any tour plans until the album's done. It doesn't totally make sense to not tour off of new music. So we'll see.